back to another little mini chit chat video. Welcome back to another reaction video. So it looks like it's gonna be a double live tonight. We're switching over genres a little bit. You guys know we are multifaceted over here, so we're into a little bit of everything. um, so I also wanted to go ahead and react to this whole Cinco DDG situation. Before we go ahead and get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Shout out to my Purple Heart members. Thank you guys for all of your support. I literally didn't get a chance to really even announce I was gonna go live again. I just kind of threw it up on the community wall. So you guys will definitely get this upload once it's done. And I opened my window for 1 second, and these stupid bugs came flying in. I can't stand these mosquitoes or whatever they are. They're so annoying. They're like the little, really small, tiny bugs that can fit through the mesh in the window, and it's so annoying. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to go ahead and react to that situation that is quickly unfolding. So apparently, DDG is starting a streaming house, or they rented a house and they're streaming, like, I don't know if it's for 30 days or whatever have you. And it's a group of his friends or associates or coworkers or whatever you want to call them. So they've all decided that they're gonna um, you know, maximize their potential by joining forces in this house. So Cinco was initially part of the, I believe it's called Capaholics. I believe that's what it's called. If I say it wrong, don't take offense. I'm not trying to be offensive. Um, so from the little bit that I watched from Jay Cinco's video, from what he was saying, this seems to have been something that's been building up over time. I don't think it's just the one incident. From what he's saying, that it's been multiple incidents where he's felt that he's been disrespected or spoken down to or whatever have you within the friendship. um, he further went on to say that, like, the personal attacks, the verbal attacks were getting worse and worse and worse, more personal, hitting below the belt a little bit. Um, and I don't know if that's surrounding the whole girlfriend situation. He is dating Lala now, and I know DDG and Lala were in the vlogs a while back. I don't know. They never dated, obviously, but they did interact. So I don't know if that can be a thing between guys. There's a lot of ego there. So there's been some verbal back and forth, and he just felt like, he's being spoken to in a manner. He's a grown man. He don't want nobody little boy in him. I mean, you live on your own, you pay your rent, you pay your bills, you take care of your mother, your family. You're pretty much grown. So obviously you wouldn't want nobody talking to you in any type of disrespectful way. Especially an individual like Jay Cinco. You see his family life. He vlogs a lot of around his mother and his family. You can tell, like, he was raised, like, to have respect and stuff like that. So people who come from that type of background don't really like other people disrespecting them, because it's not something they would do to you if they consider you a friend type of vibe. Um so hi to everyone who's joining. Hi, you guys. Thank you guys for joining the live. I decided to go live again. I wanted to talk about the whole J Cinco and DDG situation. Just to give my personal perspective on it, since I would consider myself a supporter of both individuals. However, over the years, I have started watching Jay Cinco just a little bit more. So I'm kind of more in tune with what he got going on. But from what I have seen over the years, and to current, right, this is an ongoing thing with different people. We had the situation with Ty, we had the situation with um Chino on and off over the years. We had a situation with the other one that moved away to France. I forget his name. Sorry. Vaya's baby father. We have lots of different situations. Him and the friends, people fall out, people come and go. The circle shrinks, it gets big, it shrinks, it gets big. And Jay Cinco made a great point when he pointed out that the friend group is based on popularity. So what that means is whoever is popping at the time, you will be befriended, you will be contacted, you will be, you know, reached out to create content and do the whole thing. That is how YouTube works. Everybody knows it. The new popping person is the person everybody wants to collab with, right? And for many years, DDG has been the guy on that side of YouTube who kind of gives the nod to the upcoming guys. Everybody collabs with him. It was pretty in thing to do. The same with like the Shea Frost and all these people. Once they got popular, they also linked up with him and they created content and everybody kind of just became friends over the years. Now, I use the word friend loosely. Um and I'll explain. I feel like there is an inner circle there, like the core people, the day ones, if you want to use that lingo, right? The people who he originally DDG, who he originally met up with when he moved to LA. So you'll have like Chino, and you'll have like people from back then. Over the years, people have come and gone. Like I said, Ty them have moved on. You don't really see Mystic Got Jokes anymore really around. The other one, why do I always forget his name? And it's right there. Man, you guys know who I'm talking. Brenton's friend. If you guys know Brenton. McQueen. That's it. McQueen, right? He's come and gone over the years. There's still, all these people still loosely in contact, but the circle has gotten smaller and it's more intimate. It's like a family business, literally. It's a family business. You got the brothers, the sister, the mother, and then the partners have been interchangeable over the years. We saw Kennedy, we saw Holly, we saw, different people come and go. We saw, all these people come and go. But there's that core, that's the family, right? So it's always weird, like trying to be friends with people who are related to each other because you're always the outsider. No matter how cool you get with people over the years, if they come as a family, like unit, it's always hard to kind of fit into that. Add on top of that, they're very transactional. The way they view people, their value in their lives, right? Because these people eat and live and breathe creating content. It's their livelihood, it's their life, it's what they do. And we have seen over the years, in order to stay at the top in a certain genre on YouTube, it is literally dog eat dog. And some people can act like, they have to go kiss the ring in order to get that nod of approval and then that support, that clout, if, that's what you want to call it, right? So there are people who know how to wield their clout. And, over the years, they have taken on this persona on YouTube where it's this family and it's almost godfatherish, is it not? Like you have to go kiss the ring, you have to get the seal of approval. If he don't like you, chances are your channel is not gonna take off. Blah 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 blah. People have complained over the years. He'll strike your channel. I believe even my old channel, I don't upload on it anymore. But back then, I think it wasn't even a reaction video really. That was when I was really pushing out the fashion content. And I think I had uploaded a video with Holly and something with the Little Mermaid or whatever. And I don't know, it was obviously, I don't know if it was him personally, whatever, but I did receive a strike on that video. And I thought it wasn't even negative, it was very positive. But anyway, that's besides the point. There is an ego there. And it's just what it is, right? The mother enables that. Holly talked about that a lot. It's just a lot. You have to be a very kind of strong-minded person in order to survive in their friend circle. You have to be very, very like independent, have your own motion. Like, Chino come and go, people, but they have their own life. They have their own fan base or supporter base. They have their own stuff going on. They are not like codependent for anything, right? They don't need the cloud. They don't, these are people who've been around for years. So they have transcended beyond that. You're still stuck in that transactionary like group, right? People who they collab with, they run up the numbers with, they travel, they, get to the bag, all that type of stuff. This is work. This is not like, personal for them. And we've seen a lot of people get their feelings hurt around this particular group of people, right? They get real sensitive. And I think maybe because Jay Cinco has been dealing with a lot of loss lately. Rest in peace to all of his loved ones that have passed on recently. I feel that he's very emotional, like in that emotional phase. You know what I mean? Because you're working, but you're grieving at the same time. So people are very sensitive, and things can get out of control quickly when you have all these egos involved, right? So maybe they will become friends later on down the road. Maybe they won't. Maybe this kind of little episode here reveal things that they each don't like. Maybe they'll decide to keep it cute and keep it pushing. There's another side to this I wanted to talk about. Jay Cinco mentioned in his video about the fact that based on popularity last year, he was at the bottom of the totem pole in the friend group. Um, I think he's selling himself short, right? I'm going to point out just a few quick things. When I really started watching Jay Cinco's content, he was really filming with Brooklyn Queen and Tio, and then later on, Brooklyn Queen's friend kind of joined the friend group, right? So they were like, the three amigos, and we really got into that content. It was really, really, great content. I'm not talking about all that other stuff. I'm talking about content, business wise, right? A lot of people who supported them thought that they would eventually transcend into, doing what friend groups do. You travel, you make content, you explore the world, you show your fan base, your supporters, different parts of the world. You guys get to, do that type of content, that they were going to expand and really continue on with the filming and grow as a group. That didn't happen. A lot of stuff went down. Where I think that went wrong was in not working that stuff out. The fans or the supporters, I keep saying fans, I apologize. The supporters were really, really behind them. They really wanted them to succeed. I really wanted Tio to really take off, to have his moment that he wanted, right? And I thought that was gonna happen with Brooklyn Queen and her mom, and they were doing their thing. The supporters were loving it, right? um they made the music video. The music video was going crazy. Everybody loved the music video. It was really great. And then it all kind of just came crashing down, right? And then he felt like he had to go with, the group in LA in order to get back his footing, because he had seen for himself like how the supporters were responding to the group of them being friends and making content. And then all of a sudden, all of that kind of went away. And so, in the midst of the song going viral and all of that's happening, right? Everybody's reaching out, wanting to work, wanting to collab, wanting to this, wanting to that. And for his supporters, it felt a little bit like he was going backwards. It was like he wasn't able to move on from these particular people. And then it kind of went full throttle with the shark content, right? That's kind of when I kind of left the chat a little bit. That's not really my speed. But he did take off with that type of content. His supporters were loving that. And he was doing really, really well in that particular genre, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody wanted to come and collab in Atlanta. Everybody wanted to do the two-man challenge. Everybody wanted to do this. Everybody wanted to do that. They wanted to collab and collab and collab. So I wouldn't sell yourself short thinking that you were at the bottom. Maybe you thought that, but they never did, right? They saw your music video, it was going viral, it was going crazy. There was talks about a deal, this and that, which I believe probably would have came to fruition if it had kept on going on the trajectory that it was going, right? Not to say that it's not happening or it won't happen. I just really felt in that moment was that moment. Everybody was kind of really rooting for you guys. And then it all kind of went away and he went back with the whole LA crowd and here we are today, right? Um I just felt that was a bad move business wise because I felt that he had moved on. He was able to stand on his own. Like he said today, he rather get 10K, 30K by himself with his respect and dignity intact. And I always felt that it was going to come to this because it always does, right? If you're not willing to accept certain things, like he said, he saw one of his friends disrespected like he was, and he didn't stand up for himself. He didn't say anything. He kind of just sucked it up, right? Because it's more important to get, to the bag. But slowly and slowly your self-respect kind of goes with that, right? So I think he made the right decision for right now. Maybe they will calm down, maybe they will sit and talk it out, maybe they will work it out as true friends, maybe it will boil down to we'll no longer do business together and it be that and that's on that, because we don't want it to get super messy and tacky. You don't have to drag each other all over social media, all that other stuff. People do evolve. We saw Jazz and her friends go through it over the summer and last year. People evolve and they grow and they want different things. Some people don't want to do the whole, you're in charge of me type of vibe. And some people are willing to let you be in charge because it's beneficial to them to have you just run the show. All they got to do is show up with their camera and they're good to go. Other people are not that way. Some people like to have an input. Some people don't like to be shown in a certain light. People have differences of creative opinion all the time. So, with that being said, we'll see where that goes. I don't want to go too deep into it. I don't want to get too deep into it. But that's just my little observation from the little bit that I've seen. I don't know these people, so we don't know everything that they've gone through. Neither should we, right? They were friends, coming from both of their mouths. They were friends, so it's no different than if girls stop being friends. I don't want to hear all that messy stuff. Whatever you did as friends, just keep it as what you did as friends. Nobody needs to know any of that extra stuff. Just call it a day if you're going to call it a day. Make up if you're going to make up, and let that be that, because we don't need all that extra stuff. And yeah, that's kind of my opinion on the whole thing. Just the last little bit, you always have to understand where you stand with people. Once you understand, you won't get your feelings hurt, right? You have to understand boundaries. And as you get older, as he's getting older, Cinco, he's also learning. The word friend, by the time you reach my age, it's been overused, it's exhausted, it has like, you have to be very careful how you apply that word. There are different labels that you can use for people in your life. That doesn't mean you hate them. It just means you categorize people accordingly. And that way, you won't get boundaries crossed, miscommunication, not see eye to eye where you stand. It just, avoid all that awkwardness. And that's kind of like where I leave it. So let me know what you guys think down below. Stay up and stay blessed. Thank you for those of you who came through, and thank you for those of you who were in the last live and you came through to this one. We definitely appreciate you guys. Stay up and stay blessed, and we will catch you guys in another video. Deuces.